Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I want to talk today about the people that you don't want in your group. First, I just put up over on Patreon um, one on the resistance is obviously starting for real, and what we probably want to do as this is starting. So for those of you, and I'm putting this over on Patreon because that's where more of the political stuff is right now, and gonna keep this one on YouTube more preparedness. Okay, of course we know that the two go hand in hand, but for those of you who really want to get more involved in information on what's going on in the world and how to take part of it and what's going to happen as a result of different things. That's over on Patreon. Leave the link down here. I invite you over again. I had somebody say, gee, you went on and on trying to get people to Patreon. Well, yes, I like it. I suggest you do because it's great commentary over there, not just the stuff that I put up, which I hope is good, but the comments over there are exceptional, and those people are helping each other. We're helping each other in ways, well, you'll just have to go over there and find out. But that's the place to be if you're interested in what's happening with America, what's going on with our country, what's happening right now, the politics, and what we should be doing about it. If that's you, you belong over to Patreon. I'll put the link down there. Today, though, I'm going to talk about, because I know a lot of people have made videos on things like this. You know, who do you want in your group? Who don't you want in your group? Whatever. And I think everybody has conversations with their friends about these things. and there have been a lot of, I get comments on some of these videos about people with what they feel to be limited areas of expertise or limited ability to contribute to a group, and I think that those concerns are misplaced in many places. What I would say is overall, if you are a person who is a caring person, a responsible person, a loving person, an empathetic person, a person who is always willing to pitch in and help where the help is needed, any group should value you. Any group should value that kind of person. You know, there's a lot more just supporting of people of the group, of taking care of children, of taking care of the small community, whatever it is your group may be. A lot more of that than there is the bang bang flashy stuff, you know. And the makeup of the personality of your group is going to have a lot to do with the success of your group, not just the success of what they're able to accomplish, but how long that group is going to be able to be viable. I talked a lot about this in my books. If you haven't read my books, I do suggest. I also put the link down there, but I address the different types of people as they come into a group and what they bring. And very often, what they end up being later on is not what they thought they brought to the group right then. In some cases, it is, but in some cases, it's not. And they find new ways of doing things. But it's the personality of the person that's the most important. I just want to rattle off a list here as they bounced into my head of the people that you don't want, but you don't want them now. And yet many of our lives are full of these people, aren't they? And we just don't call them out as we probably should. But we definitely don't want these in a group that's either, whether it's formed now and you're planning to be a mutually assistive group, or whether it's after the big one. So I'm just going to run this down, and you all go ahead and add yours down there to it too. Let everybody else know. Here's another one you forgot, Smith, because I know I didn't get everything. As I drove along, I'd make a little notation to myself. Yeah, I don't want that, and I hate that, and okay. So number one, lazy. You usually can't fix lazy. Lazy is the person that you may get something out of them, but you've got to assign somebody to be over them all the time, and that's just a waste of that person's efforts. So the lazy are out. They don't get in the group, or if they somehow snuck their way in and um, ended up there, then they either need to be tightened up in a big way or they're gone. The stupid. Okay, now I don't mean the ignorant. I mean the stupid. Ignorance is simply not knowing some information, not knowing how to do something. That can be corrected with learning, okay, and teaching. The stupid are different. And I also don't mean those who simply may not be, an astrophysicist. I mean the one who is almost proud of their stupidity, and they're just not going to get any smarter because everything they know is all there is to know and all they need to know, and that's it. There's not a lot can be done with that. They need to go. The selfish. You don't need to say anything else about that. The selfish. It's always about them. Always about them. They don't really contribute much, and they fail to see what's being done on their behalf. The arguer. Now, this isn't the person that, let me suggest a different way of doing something that I thought of, or how about if we, I like your idea, but I'm sorry, I see this glaring and my glasses are glaring up from the computer screen. Maybe you can just read this in my glasses. But I mean the person always, no matter what it is, there's something wrong with it, or why don't you do it a different way, or no, not whatever. Those people, I mean, they ruin your day now. You think they ruin a day now? Wait until it's important. The gossiper. The gossiper is the enemy within. It's the person who tries to start trouble. The one who's always trying to find out where they can stick the wedge, where the cracks are in a group, trying to build themselves up simply by, and whether that's in the eyes of the group, which it never is, because a gossiper is looked down on, but trying to diminish others. And this, the gossiper is a person who has no sense of self-esteem anyway. The one who won't listen, and what they're saying, there is none so blind as they who will not see, not who can't see, but will not see. Well, there is none so ignorant as those who will not listen. Yeah, they for whatever reason they'll tune it out. Again, this is part of the self-absorption, and really, a lot of this could just be put under the self-absorbed title. Yeah, they won't listen. You can start talking to them, and you know that halfway through your explanation or halfway through your direction, they were tuning out because they thought they already knew it all. They now thinking about something else, and then they'll go off and start doing something, and it's not what you told them to do, right? And you'll say, well, wait a minute. Here's how we do it. Well, you never told me that. Yeah, I did. You weren't listening. The one who won't listen, they're the second guesser. Always, the person, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I didn't think that'd work. Well, why don't we do it the other way? Well, let's go do this. No, why don't we do it such and such a way? Okay. The divider. The one who's always trying to play the angles, always trying to triangulate, trying to separate these people from those people. The disloyal. Okay. And don't need to say anything about that. If they're disloyal in one area, they're usually disloyal in others. The one-upper. It's these people are just irritating, and they look, they make themselves look stupid. No matter what somebody says, they've got something that's better than that, right? And in many cases, it's not even as good as that, but they just have this need to go, well, look what I've got. And really they ought to be called the one-downers. The rude. Okay, the rude. Now, I mean, if you need somebody to just watch the pigs at night, I guess the rude person can handle that. But they are an abrasion within the machinery of the group. It's just like throwing sand in there. The braggart, the one who's always, you know what I do, you know what I've got, you know what I can do, and here's what I did, and here's what I did, blah 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 blah. Again, just the teaser and the bully. And some people thought me a little strange on this when I was raising my kids. I don't like teasing because teasing to me, and there will be some who disagree with it. That's all right. Teasing to me is just low grade bullying. It's stealth bullying, and I don't like bullies. And what a tease is. Now you can have a friendly tease, but then if it hurts the other person, if the other person is offended or insulted or doesn't like it, and there are those. There are some people who are just brought up teasing and being teased. That's the way that they communicate, I guess, with the world around them. And there are others who that's just not their thing. And when you bring those two together, it's going to be a problem because the teaser is going to think that that's okay, and the one who really deals with a more situation of expecting mutual respect and treating other people with respect, they're gonna take umbrage at it. And I will take it back to this also. There are certain groups to where respect is paramount. Prison being one of them. I mean, I don't hold prisoners up to be the icons of behavior, but prisoners, organized crime, different organizations. Who was it that said? I think it was Michael Francis said that his dad told him three things would serve him very well when he went to prison. Three words, and I think they were please, thank you, and excuse me. I've never been in prison. But I've known a lot of prisoners, and I've dealt around a lot of the situation. And you know what? There's not a lot of teasing because people take the words very seriously. And you get a knife in your stomach, or your back, if you think that you tease. People don't tease. Teasing is like I said, is low grade stealth bullying, just enough so that if you object to it, they can say, "Well, gosh, I was just teasing. Can't you take a joke?" No, it was poking. There's no place for that in a group that's trying to pull together. And I know you military guys will say, "Well, we ran each other's chops all the time." I understand that. That's a totally different situation. I get it. And I've been in those too, and it was okay. There is not okay in groups like this. The dishonest. You turn your back. I wrote a section of, I think, the first book about what happens when somebody was caught stealing, and some people, I had a couple, not most. I had a couple people. That's just horrible. You would do that to people just because they stole something that just because they wanted something to eat. Well, they were stealing booze. It wasn't something to eat, and Stonemont, Jim took care of it the way I would. And the one who won't admit when they're wrong. We're all wrong sometimes. I know we all like to think we're perfect, right? We all like to think we know, and the whole rest of the world just doesn't understand until they agree with me. Well, that's stupid. That's not right. But when you in important situations, whether it's a family, a group before a calamity or a group after a calamity. Excuse me, I got off camera there. I was sticking the laptop better. This is kind of my, that doesn't matter. It's important to understand that while you try to do your best, you don't know everything. and sometimes you're going to be wrong. And the only thing that serves when a person won't admit they're wrong is trying to protect their ego. And so many of these problems that I talked about already, it's all about ego, it's false ego. It's people trying to build themselves up, and refusing, to entertain the idea that they may not be all that. But anyway, these are just some people that when because I had somebody ask, what kind of people would you not let in? I said, that's what got me thinking. So these are my top tier. And you'll notice none of them were, not having certain skills. It was pretty much all personality traits, because groups of whatever kind fail because of personalities, not because of skills or lack thereof, because those can be dealt with. So you all, hey, I'm interested to hear what you all might have to say about this. Add your list down there. I bet there's going to be some good ones. Remember to come over to Patreon over there to get that one I just talked about. The resistance is starting. The conversation is really getting good over there, and I know a lot of you guys have a lot to contribute to it. So I'd love to see you and hear your thoughts over there. It's a great conversation. So you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and a lot of that preparations is thinking about what our decisions are going to be in different scenarios. So you all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.